Welcome back, everybody. It is the second video of Communist Goals in America. Second video today, actually. Welcome back to the channel, The Pride. As before, we went over the first three over here. Points that are outlined in this article that is part of the Congressional Records. Just to recap, we were going through this set and we are seeing how some of these things may be applied to real life or not. Seeing things that are being relevant and actually applied to today, and see how many are being applied to today, and whether or not it is possible that Bernie Sanders' goal is just not socialism but maybe communism. Anyway, last video I did go off on a tangent a little bit. I'm going to try to avoid that today. I'm just trying to make myself better with every single video I do. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you'd like to. Spread this video all over that you can see as this series. Spread this series everywhere you can see. The more people to see it, the better, as it is just generally more educational. Alright, so today we are in number 4, 5, and 6. Number 4. This is another big one, starting off with a big one. Permit free trade between all nations regardless of communist affiliation and regardless of whether or not items could be used for war. So, we see this in great abundance today. We don't so much send some of our military technology off to China and Russia and whatnot, but we do trade goods between China and Russia. In fact, recently, our farmers have taken a bit of a hit because we stopped sending some of our corn and beans to China, at least in my area. My area is, I live in a very rural area. I'm actually considering going back to working on the farm, as is something that I enjoy doing. Of course, I will keep up with YouTube as well. However, we took a bit of a hit and made it a little bit hard on us because of the sanctions we imposed on China. But the New Deal and the Mississippi contract are supposed to bring that back and improve it, so I'm hopeful. Anyway, we have free trade to almost every country in the world. If any country wants to trade with us, we draw up a deal and we trade with them. Some countries we do send weapons over. Canada, Britain. Those are the two on my mind right now. I don't. Germany, I think, takes some from us. Actually, we bring in weapons from Germany. Our M1 Abrams use the Rheinmetall 120mm cannon. That is German made. We virtually pay for Canada's defenses. We send them F-18s and F-15s. We send them tanks and rifles. We basically pay for Canada's defense budget. The United States pretty much pays the UN budget. I mean, sure, some countries pay a little bit, but compared to the United States, it is nothing. If I remember right, we pay more to pay more into the UN than the top 3 others combined. So we kind of take care of all you for that, same way we do with medical. We come up with all the new medications, new techniques, and whatnot. Anyway, staying off my tangents here, free trade. As we can see, this is a very simple one, but it is also big. We do, in fact, trade with everybody, as long as they do not take our things and copyright them as China did. Excuse me, gotta hit my vape. We trade with pretty much everybody. Number 5, extension of long-term loans to Russia and Soviet satellites. Soviet satellites would be including in Ukraine, Crimea, places that used to be the USSR. Soviet Union is no longer a thing, but they are still in the same area, which I believe, let's see, how much does Russia owe the US? I'm trying to see here. Russian holdings of Treasury secretaries declined 84%. Oh, screw off. Oh, I guess I've gotta pause on this site. Let's reload it. Hold on, I just missed it again. Russian holdings of Treasury securities declined 84% between March and May, falling to 14.9 billion from 96.1 billion, meaning we have a loan to them for $14.9 billion. That is what this is talking about. Right here, number 5, extension of long-term loans. Extension not meaning we extend the amount of time they can have them. Extension meaning we extend them the money. We give them the loans. Number 6, provide American aid to all nations regardless of communist domination. There are many countries, as this president has done, President Trump has done a very good job of this. Not providing aid to nations under communist domination. Now, the reason being, and a lot of people will get mad at me saying that's a good thing, but it is in reality. I don't remember what country it was, but there have been a lot of things going around where there are literally warehouses of supplies that the United States sent to them that they did not distribute to their citizens during a crisis. I believe it was recently a hurricane. I'm going to Google that right now to show it. Puerto Rico. Looks like it was. Yep. Right here. As that is not the people's fault, but unfortunately, we cannot keep sending and sending and sending supplies that do not get used. If we are sending them supplies, we have no way to control whether or not they get used unless we put our own boots on the ground, which no country pretty much is acceptable with, except for the Red Cross. They're pretty much the only ones that go to another country boots on the ground and support. Now, as these are very small and easy to discuss points, we're going to go on for today. Number 7, grant recognition of Red China, admission of Red China to the UN. I do not believe China is part of the UN. I'm going to search that right here. I'm doing it this way so that we all learn together. Okay. They are part of the UN, so that was accomplished. China, Red China meaning communist China. China is still communist. Yes, this article was written in 1963, but people were hell of a smart people back then. Whether you want to admit it or not, in reality, they were a lot smarter than us nowadays. Number 8, set up East and West Germany as separate states in spite of Khrushchev's promise in 1955 to settle the German question by free elections. This was before East and West Germany, I think. According to this article title, I believe this would be before. When did Germany separate? 1989 is when it came back together. I want to know when they separated. Let's go here. History Channel. 1961 is when they began laying down barbed wire and bricks as a barrier. Okay, so that's when they began. So at that point in time, they may have been denying that it was separate or something like that. I don't know. However, they did set up East and West Germany. Oh, wait a minute. No. This book was written in 1959 before that happened. So this book is talking about what happened before and this happened. In 1961, East and West split. In 1959, the book that this is based off of, written by an FBI theologist, was written. The book that this is based off of is called The Naked Communist by Leon Skousen, a former FBI employee who was a governmental theorist. And now that looking back on that, I correct my previous statements. This actually happened and was in effect. So he predicted that before it happened. Number 9, prologue the conference to ban atomic tests because the United States has agreed to suspend tests as long as negotiations are in progress. That is another thing that actually happened. Around this time, I do not know if that was this specific year, but I do have the knowledge that around this time nuclear tests were stopped by the United States, specifically above ground nuclear tests, because of the impact to the environment and the people around it. So that's pretty simple. That happened. They still Russia still kind of does nuclear tests. There was an explosion in one of their cities, or near one of their test sites, that they're claiming was a malfunction of a reactor, but that we are believing they were using nuclear powered rockets, which is science that I'm not going to get into right now. Number 10. I'm just going to go until I hit a certain time marker. Number 10. Allow all Soviet satellites and individual representation in the UN. Once again, Soviet satellites may be Ukraine. I don't know if Cuba would be considered a Soviet satellite. I do not know how many list of Soviet satellite states. Poland, Hungary. Oh. I'm pretty sure most of these are in the UN. I'm pretty sure a lot of those are in the UN. Correct me if I'm wrong. That'd take too long for me to search with us on the recording here, but that's astonishing. Let's go to number 11. Promote the UN as the only hope for mankind. If its charter is rewritten, demand that it be set up as a one-world government with its own independent armed forces. Some communist leaders believe the world can be taken over as easily as by the UN as by Moscow. Sometimes these two centers compete with each other, and they are now doing in the Congo. I've heard a lot of rumors about that, but I've never seen it put into any form of government document. I spent a lot of time talking to people about politics, a lot of old-timers about it, and a lot of them talked about the UN just wanting a one-world government. And that a lot of people were believing that the UN is currently pressuring the United States to create the current gun laws, for example, that we are looking at right now. And now that I'm starting to look at this, it's starting to make more sense. Because basically what the UN is attempting a one world, or a one government world. I don't know much about that. I'm going to have to do some research into it. Number 12, that's simple. Resist any attempt to outlaw the Communist Party. That never happened. Do away with all loyalty oaths. I'm not sure about that one. I don't know what that's referring to at all. Continue giving Russia access to the U.S. Patent Office. I do not believe they have access of it anymore. Maybe I'm incorrect, but I don't think they do have access. It looks like they do. Huh. That's interesting. No, like I said, I'm reading this, like, we're reading this together. If you're here watching this, you're looking at this with me, so we're looking at this at the same time. So I don't have much of a knowledge on some of these things. Yep. Get out of here. So it looks like they do have access to the patent office. Number 15, capture one or both of the political parties in the United States. Oh boy. None of you can tell me that's not happening right now. Not a single one of you can tell me that they have not captured one of the political parties. The Democratic Party, nothing against the people in it, but the Democratic Party itself, every single policy that we are seeing is so radical left that Obama couldn't see him if he turned his head. Every single one of them are for on-demand abortion. Every single one of them are for complete gun confiscation. Every single one of them are for socialist or communist policies. That's huge. That's massive. That's happened. They have captured the Democratic Party. Like, that's big. That's pretty big. And I'm not saying Russia captured one of the Democratic parties. I'm saying this is the theology, the ideology of communism itself being present in those parties. That's huge. Ooh. This is starting to become a little scary. I mean, just thinking about that, the whole Russia probe, even though it was proved incorrect, Trump didn't have anything to do with Russia. That was proven on record. And if Trump had something to do with Ukraine, like they're claiming, he would also have nothing to do with Russia because they're virtually enemies. And yes, you're going to see Facebook stuff popping up on Trump because that's the only way I can see pro-Trump articles. I look at CNN, I look at MSNBC and whatnot. But I like to see both sides. I want to see the against and I want to see the for, and I take that and coalesce the knowledge, and that's how I make my assertions. For example, I listen to Rush Limbaugh radio. There's only two channels I listen to, Rush Limbaugh and the Todd and Tyler Show, which were both opposites. Anyway, back to topic. That's big. That's a big thing. They have the Democratic Party. Number 16. Use technical decisions of the courts to weaken basic American institutions by claiming their activities violate civil rights. LGBT, Black Lives Matter, feminists, they're all doing that. They're all doing that. Sure, there's people. I'm not saying that they're illegitimate. I'm not saying they're wrong. Everyone should have equal rights. No matter your association or your skin color, I believe every single person, man or woman, should have equal rights. To be honest, I think the Constitution should be rewritten to reflect the change in society and all mankind are created equal. But this, even though everyone has equal rights, by basic American institutions, you could consider the Constitution, such as the First Amendment. Let's take that for example. Activities of the First Amendment is free speech, being able to say whatever you want. And people right now are claiming it's not that big of a thing, and they've kind of lost it. Like, this isn't going anywhere as far as I know. But there was people that wanted to create hate speech laws like they have in Canada, which is exactly what that is stating. Now that's huge. By being able to control the speech, you control everything. If you can control the speech and you can shove if you can shove opposing opinions under the rug so no one hears them, you have control of everything. But that's a pretty big one. See number 17. Get control of the schools. Use them in transmission belts for socialism and current communist propaganda. Soften the curriculum. Get control of the teachers' associations. Put the party line in textbooks. I'm going to stop this video right here. And I'm going to cover number 17 in the next video. And it's going to be solely on number 17. It'll cover number 17, 18, 19. I'm just reading this really quick. 17, 18, and 19 are going to be their own video. I'm going to stop there for right now. I don't even know what I'm going to name this video at the moment. I'm looking at this and everything is starting to become interesting. I'm not yet saying that this is for sure a coup that's trying to happen right now, but Jesus Christ, you look at this. Capturing the policy. Capturing one of the political parties. They've done that. Use technical decisions of the courts. They've tried to do that. They tried to ban free speech. UN is being promoted as the massive superhero of the world that's protecting everyone. I'm just going through these. We've extended loans to Russia. We provide aside from this president, for the most part, we've provided American aid for every single nation that needed it. We granted recognition of Red China, and they are part of the UN. 3 years after this book was written, that this is based off of, they set up East and West Germany. They have prolonged and still are prolonging conferences to ban atomic tests. And all Soviet satellites are pretty much part of the UN. Poland, Hungary, I'm going to do more research on that. But Poland and Hungary are definitely part of the US. Jeez, that's scary. I'm coming up here pretty close to 20 minutes now. So I'm going to end this video. Next video, I'm going to put 3 videos out today. I have to. I'm going to do a little bit of research here, and I'm going to cover 17, 18, 19 on the next video. This is big. This is more than I hoped for. Like, when I saw this, I figured this would just be like an educational thing, like, oh, look at what they thought in the past. But now I'm starting to see a lot of things that happen nowadays. And no matter what party you have, whether you are a conservative or a liberal, a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, or a Tea Party, it doesn't matter. There's no way you can disagree with this. Because we are seeing everything that we see here now. Whether you believe it is right or you believe it is wrong, everything that is happening, you can blatantly see in this country right now. This is nuts. Please, please like and share this video. Like for the algorithm, share so more people see it. If you want to subscribe, we will cover this more later. I will make another video. This will be 3 videos today on this subject. I am currently editing. I am currently rendering right here. It's about a 1/5 of the way done. I'm currently rendering the next one. I'm going to get these out as fast as I can. Holy crap, is this big. Alright, well, anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for indulging this. Maybe this is paranoia on my part, but I'm starting to see a lot of things that are starting to add up to bad numbers, if you kind of understand my point here. I'll be making some more gaming videos. I'll have a gaming video up tomorrow. I think my channel is gonna be half and half. It's gonna be some games. It's gonna be some politics, because that's me. Eventually, I'd like to do some stuff in the shop. I'd just like to have a channel that's literally just a mash of everything you could ever want. Whether you're a gearhead and like watching people work on cars or learning about cars, because I love doing that. Gamers want to watch some video games. I do some games, and you can watch some games on the channel. Politics is whether or not you like it. Politics affects your life, no matter who you are. Anyway, welcome back to the channel. Enjoy the rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And I'll see you guys later.